Hey everybody, it's Urban Knots with Fatima Deanna, and today we're going to be making this crop top. Now the thing about this crop top is you can do so many things with this pattern that I'm about to show you. See, with me, I put a zipper on it and added some crochet at the bottom and the top, just at the linings, and boom. The one I'm going to show you today is the knotted front crop top. So it's just the same pattern, but it has a knot in the front. So we're going to learn this one, but like I said, you can let your creativity run wild. You can add zippers in the front. You can knot it at the front. You can keep it straight. There's so many things you can do, and I'm going to show you just how to get started with making this really cute crop top pattern. Let's go. All right, we're going to get started on this crop top. What you're going to need for this crop top is some medium weight 4 yarn, which I'm using. I love this yarn because it goes through this machine so smoothly. So does Karen's Simply Soft. You're also going to need some waste yarn because we're going to use this on the end of every piece that we make. This is also, I love this yarn, so it'll go through pretty well. I'm also going to use a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook to put our pieces together. I'm going to use a tapestry needle and scissors. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put waste yarn on. What we're going to do is we're going to go behind this white hook. We're going to leave a tail and drop it in the center of the Sentro, and then we're going to go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. So you're gonna take the yarn behind one hook and in front of a hook, behind and front, and we're gonna do this all the way around until we get back to the white hook. Forward, backwards, like that. We are putting on our waste yarn. So I did my rounds of waste yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the waste yarn. And I am going to bring this strand and drop it in the middle of the machine. Now I'll get my yarn that I'm going to use. And I'm going to put it through the tension. Bring it through, and then I'm going to put this underneath that same hook as this waste yarn, the last waste yarn, and then I'm going to crank. So what we're going to do is remember to reset your counter, but we're going to go, I'm going to go 130 rounds for a medium top. You might want to go 120 for a small, maybe even 135 for a medium large, 140 for a large, but I'm going to do 130 for this top. So we're going to crank this thing and we're going to go 130 rounds. Meet me back here when you've done 130 rounds on your knitting machine. Feel free to comment. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll either make a video or answer your questions. But right now, mine is continuing to knit my 130 rows. But yes, if you have any questions or you need me to slow down and show you something, please leave a comment in the comment section, and I will get back to you with a video or help. And also look in the comment section because I may have already answered someone's question and the video is in the comments or in my shorts. All right, I have 130 rows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this yarn. I'm going to put it in the center of my project. I'm going to grab my waste yarn and I'm going to weave that in. So I'm going to put it into that first tension ring and feed it into that first hook like we did before. And I'm going to go 5 to 7 rounds again. So we'll have waste yarn on both ends of the project. So again, meet me back here when you have 5 to 8 rows of waste yarn on your project. Okay, now that I have my 5 to 8 rows of waste yarn, I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to put that into the center of the ring as well. And I'm going to, what you're going to do is you're going to crank it all the way around. You're going to crank until it falls off, because we are finished with our piece. So once it hits this here, it'll start to fall off. And that's, you will crank it until it falls off. And then here's our beautiful piece that we have. Ooh. This is our first piece for our bust area. But before we take off the waste yarn, we are going to get started on the straps. But this is what our project looks like. So we'll set this to the side and we'll get started on the straps. So for the straps, we're going to do the same thing that we did for our 130 rows. So we're going to put waste yarn, and then we are going to do 10 rows for the straps. So once we do our 5 to 8 rows of waste yarn, we're going to do 10 rows of our project yarn, and then more waste yarn on the edge of that. And we're going to do that 4 times, okay? So again, we're putting on our waste yarn back and forth like before, feeding it into our machine, putting it through our tension, and 5 to 8 rows. So you can meet me back here, because I'll show you how to put your project colored yarn on the Sentro or Addi, and then we're going to do it 4 times. Okay, so we have our waste yarn. We're going to snip it, bring it through, drop it into the center, grab our regular yarn for our project, put it through the tension, through the machine, and hook it underneath the hook that we have our waste yarn. And we're going to do 10 rows around and around and around, and add another end of waste yarn on top of that strap. But we're going to do that 4 times. Meet me back here when you finish your first strap piece. So again, 5 to 8 rows of waste yarn, 10 rows of your project yarn, and another 5 to 8 rows of waste yarn. Meet me here when you've done your strap piece. All right, so we have our first strap. So I'm going to cut my waste yarn, put it into the middle of the machine, and you're going to crank around until it falls off. And I want to show you how this looks. So this is our strap, a piece of our strap, because we need 4 of these. So when you stretch it out, this is going to be the front side of our strap. And then we'll take off this waste yarn, but there goes one strap. So I need you to do this 4 times, okay? And meet me back here after you made 4 of these 10 row straps with waste yarn on both sides, and then we'll put these things together. All right, we have all of our pieces, and for anybody who would like to know what this color is called, it's called Surf's Up by, I love this yarn, Surf's Up. I love it. It goes so good with some denim or some khakis. But we have all of our pieces. We have our main bust piece, and we have our straps, 4 straps with waste yarn on the edges of them. So what we're going to do is we are going to close up the edges. So I'm going to show you how to close up one edge, but once I show you how to close up one, you can do them all. So let's get started doing that. All right, so we're going to get our main piece, our bust piece, and we're going to put it here in a line like this. But I would like for your strings to go on one end and clear edge. So make sure that your strings are on this end, and we're going to weave it closed. Now, I thought this waste yarn was going to be better for me to see. I can see it, but maybe it's not the best to show how to do this because it kind of blends in with the black and white. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your hook underneath. You're going to have you see these two color switches here. You're going to put your hook underneath that, and then you're going to go underneath the second stitch and hook it under. And then you're going to go back and forth from this side to this side all the way down until it's closed. So I'm going to grab this stitch, pull it through the loop, and I'm going to go to the other side and get this stitch and pull it through the loop. And I'm just going to keep going back and forth, pulling it through the loop. And that's how we're going to close it all the way down. Put your hook underneath. And you don't want to miss them, so make sure it's best to get your scrap yarn that is way different from your color so that you won't miss them, because it will drop the stitch. So this loop, pull it through, this loop, pull it through, and we're going to do this all the way down. So meet me back here after you went through each stitch and pulled it through. So all the way down, all of these stitches that are on the edge here between your waste yarn. Here, let me grab another one so you can see, because I'd used a different waste yarn. You see this waste yarn? So you're basically going to use all of these top stitches of your project color. You're going to go back and forth until it's closed. Okay? Meet me back. All right, so you should have 4 panels done like this for your straps, and you should have a full panel like this. Now, I did add my crocheted edges, but yours should look like this, which we're going to work on this one because I made an extra one just for the tutorial. But yours should look like this with the straps and the panel. Now, for all of those who crochet, this is so customizable. Like, you can do so much with it. You can have double crochet around the edges. You can triple crochet, double crochet, as long as you like it, to make it fit your aesthetic, just like I did. I added half double crochet around the edge, then I did double crochet around the edge, and then I did another half double crochet to line the bottom, and then I did a double crochet at the top. So that is how you can customize it. Now, also, this one, the reason why I'm going to set this one aside is because I'm going to add a zipper. I got these zippers from Hobby Lobby for 99 cents. So I'm going to add a zipper to this top. So all I'm going to do is just sew the zipper onto the sides of here, and it's going to probably turn out like this one, because I did this one already. Okay, I did this one already. This is the same format. It has the same 4 straps. Boop. The same tube. I just double crocheted around the edge, double crocheted around the top, sewed it on the zipper on. But I also want to show you a technique called the knotted technique. That's why we're going to use this one, so that we can make a knot like this in the front. And see, with this one, I half double crocheted around the edges and did smaller straps. So it's so customizable, and I'm just showing you some ways that you can make this fit your aesthetic, like I said. So let's get started on the knot and add in the straps. Okay, for the knot, you're going to grab your piece. You're going to figure out which side you want to be inside or outside. See, mine, they look the same, so it doesn't really matter. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half, one side in half like this, and then you'll grab the other piece and slide it in the middle, and then you'll take the other end and sandwich it on the back. Bam! So you have this little twist right here. Then you're going to get your tapestry needle and you're going to thread it. Okay, hold on. I don't know why I'm trying to do that with my left hand. Crazy work. So you're going to get your tapestry needle and thread it. And you're just going to go back and forth through all four panels. Make sure you have it long enough. And you're just going to go back and forth. Back and forth. Like this. All the way to the edge. Back and forth. Back and forth. Make sure you catch the end of that. And let's do one more for these 3. And for me, I like to go back down. Okay, so I'm going to go back down. Let's go back down. Like this. All right, and so now we're going to cut these strings. Just 1 second, gotta find my scissors. Okay, so you'll cut the string and then you'll grab your tapestry needle. And the thing that I like about this project is that it's like two-sided. So hiding your string is so easy because you'll just slide it in between these two, you know, slide it far down, bring it through the other end. Make sure you pull it all the way through. Snip it, pull it, and it's hidden inside of the top. So we'll do this one on the other side of here. So we're tucking our edges. So it can look clean and super darned cute. So we'll slide it in here and you'll work your needle through the 2 panels. Let it come out on the end. Tighten. Hide it. Now let's flip it inside out so we can see how it looks. So this is how our top is looking after we created the knot. Isn't it precious? Okay, to add the straps, we are going to measure 2 inches from where the V in the bust is for each side. 2 inches is where we're going to start. So I'm seeing 2 inches here. So I'm going to put my stitch marker there because that's where I'm going to start my shirt. And then 2 inches from here, we'll put a stitch marker because this is where I'm going to start my shirt. So this is approximately 2 inches from the curve. So anyway, you're going to flip your shirt inside out to where the back part of your crop top is showing. Then you're going to fold it. Now you see these V's. We are going to sew in between these V's. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our tapestry needle. We're going to thread it. And we are going to go in between the V's. I'm going to go through this side and that side, pull through. I'm going to go through the next hoop and the next hoop, and I'm going to pull through. And I'm going to do this all the way down. And just like we did the knot in this shirt, I'm also going to do the same thing and go backwards with the straps. So back and forth. through the stitches. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna go back. I am going to go back so I can make sure that this is on very securely. We're gonna go back and forth. Let's see. Yep, so we made it back here. I like to make sure I go back one more time so that I can have my strings on the opposite side, because I like to tie a little knot. I like to clip it a little bit, clip it here, tie a knot. Now for those who crochet, you can slip stitch or single crochet across as well. I usually single crochet across, but I know there's some people who don't crochet who are learning how to use the knitting machine, so I did it this way. And then you'll hide your edges, you know, you'll hide your strings like we always do. Now that we hit our yarn, and this is how it's looking on the other side, we are going to get our second part of the strap. I'm going to turn it because we're going to end up connecting this end to this side. So we're going to turn it, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back and forth, and we're going to connect these two strap pieces, and we're going to go back and forth the same way we did before. So, and we're going to attach it the same way as well from the inside of the strap. So once we finish this strap, we'll also do the same thing to that strap. Meet me back here when you finish connecting your bottom end of the strap. So see, we have our straps on. How cute. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. And for those who are just the knitters, this will be the completion of your crop top after you finish knitting on this side of your straps. So then you'll have this cute crop top. Isn't it so freaking cute? But this is the thing. I'm going to continue because I'm going to show the crocheters how to kind of get a lining on here. Okay. So meet me back here, crocheters, and even new knitters, so that you can see how it looks finished. All right, this is our finished top. Has the back, the straps, and the back. Hold on. This is our finished top. So, congratulations if you finished your crop top. Beautiful. If you're ready to crochet, let's go. This is really simple. What you're going to do is you're going to, I'd rather start here. So you're going to start at this bottom, because we're going to put a lining around the bottom. You're going to start at the bottom, and you're going to crochet in each loop like you would do regular. So it's so dope because this already have the loops for you. So we're going to get, I'm using a 4.5 hook, and I'm going to pull my yarn through. I'm going to grab both pieces of yarn, pull it through into a knot, drop the shorter piece, and then I'm going to half double crochet around the edge of this. So we're going to go into this V. You see, go into the V, half double crochet into every V, all the way around until you get back to the other part of the knot, the other end of the knot. And I'll show you just a second how it's going to look. So it's half double crochet all the way around the edge of this shirt. See how that looks? so to bring a nice clean edging. And you can do double crochet if you want. You can do triple crochet. You can make longer. You can make it however much longer you want it. You can chain. You can make chains so you can have like a mesh look to it. Sometimes, like if I want mesh, I would, let's see. Yeah, if I wanted a mesh look to it, hold on. I would double crochet, chain one, skip a hoop, and double crochet all the way across it, and then it'll create like a mesh lining with like the holes all around the end, which is really cute too. I did a top like that recently. But yeah, so for right now, we're just going to half double crochet around the edge. And that should complete our crop top. Like I said, you can customize this any way you want. All right, so that is the end of my video. I'm going to finish up these crop tops, and meet me back here because I'll show you how to make some cute hats to match these tops, and a cute purse that'll match these tops as well. Bye, until next time. Thank you for watching.